This is my NeoAir Xtherm, and it is way too long for me, so I'm going to do a little project and cut it down shorter. So to start this project, you're going to need an ironing board or similar surface. You're going to need a straight edge, a pen, a binder clip, scissors, and an iron, and of course the doomed mattress. You're going to start by laying out your mattress. And I'm using my women's X-Lite as a guide because I really like the length of that thing. If you look at the mattresses, you'll see that there's these baffle lines, and these are the baffles. But we're going to cut just behind it to give us more room to work with the material in between. That's what we need. You'll see when I lay my X-Lite out, it's a little bit past one of those baffle lines. So what I'm going to do is just move it back a little bit so that I get it behind that line. And again, I'm going to grab my trusty straight edge and I'm going to just mark a line right there. So I'm going to look at that baffle line and go just a little bit after it, and right there, draw my line. Nice and bold. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is where my warranty is gonna die. Uh-oh. Oh, my mattress is haunted. Ah! I can't believe I'm cutting into my mattress. Eee. One more cut, and what's done is done. And that's what it looks like when your warranty dies. Okay, so looking at the X-Lite, you'll see we have the top material, and then we have a layer of shiny warmth, and then another layer of double layer of shiny warmth, more gauze, and then on the bottom we have more shiny, and then the bottom fabric with the heat bond material on the inside. And if we look back towards the top, you'll see that the top layer of fabric also has that same heat bond material. But we want to cut the silver stuff out of the way, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this back to get all of this stuff out of the way. And then work it my way back down. And then get this moved out of the way. Alright, so now what we have here is we have exposed all of the shiny stuff on the inside and allowing us room to cut it without damaging the upper and lower material. So it's gonna cut as close to that material as I can without taking a risk of cutting it. And then I'm gonna just go and clean up these little straggly bits right here because I don't want them to accidentally end up inside my heat bond seam because that could cause a leak. So get that out of the way. So now you'll see that I've able to get the heat bond surfaces together without all the shiny guts in the way. So get this back straight again. Boop, boop. Side. And then this side, nice and flat. Okay, so remember my binder clip? I'm just going to take that and put it on the side here to hold this tight so that way I can work with one hand with the iron and the other hand pulling everything tight. I want to make sure it's nice and even with no wrinkles. Okay, so I have my iron set on high, and I'm just going to use the tip of it to make a little tack weld, or tack it together a little bit. Because we obviously don't want to put pins in this thing to hold it, so this is how we're going to hold it. So I'm going to do one more. I'm going to pull this thing nice and tight against where that binder clip is holding on the other side. Give it a little heat. And now we're good to go. So now it's time to do the rest. So this is all laid out flat. I've read other articles where they say to do it with the tip, but you can see that's not really working out too well. It makes a lot more sense to me to use the side of the iron, where you can get a really nice big wide area of the heat put on this thing to really get it together. So I'm just gonna work my way down while keeping it tight. Then there's Booger checking out my dictionary that I was using as a weight earlier. Don't pee on it. Okay, we're almost done with this thing. All right, there we are. So look here, it looks pretty good. So yeah, I like it. I mean, it looks factory sealed. So it's just got a jagged edge here, so I'm going to take some scissors and cut this. So again, trusty straight edge. And then I'm going to make sure I get this. I want to have a seam about the width of what the factory one is on the sides. So I'm looking for something similar to that. So I'm going to find that on here. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm not really measuring. So draw my line. And then now I'm going to be really careful how I cut this one because I want it to look nice. I want it to look professional. Okay. All the way down. And then I'm going to round off the corners. Professional. All right. And there it is. All done. So got my rounded corners. Nice cut. Good width on my seam there. Do a leak check. No leaks. So now I've got a Xtherm that's more my height. So it looks like it's for a midget, but it's for me. Alright. If you're interested in weights, this started off as a 15-ounce mattress and it's now just under 13 ounces. And if you look at the shiny guts and the part that I cut off, it's about 2 ounces. And the end is just about the size of my torso. Bye! Oh, I totally forgot to tell you guys. The other thing I did is I flipped this puppy over and I got some seam sealer. And I got it in one of those bottles that has the roll-on top. So kind of like one of those little roll-on deodorants, but don't put this under your armpits. I really don't recommend it. But what I did with it is I just made some dots on the bottom of my mattress and let them dry, and then I came back through and did a second coat. And the purpose of this is to keep my mattress from sliding around on my DCF tent floor, which it does a lot. And there's nothing worse than waking up 50 million times in the middle of the night to do the air mattress rowboat, getting it back into position. So this will add a little bit of grippiness to the bottom, and it will keep that from happening. Okay. This time I'm done for sure. I promise. Bye, y'all.